What's the deal with Romero's wrestling? When you look at it on paper, it's one of the best in the division, a silver medalist in the Olympics. But when you look at his more recent fight, specifically with Paulo Costa, which is his most recent one, he lost a decision. But when you're fighting someone like Costa, who has a heavy stand-up game, I mean, we know for the most part what his game plan is going in. Maybe not the specifics, but for the most part, the stand-up kind of bully you, finish you on the feet with power punches. But when you have someone like Romero who has the wrestling pedigree that he does and the skill that he does, why doesn't he use it more? That's the question, especially as a fan coming from myself. Coming from myself as a fan, it's kind of frustrating, especially seeing that fight. I think he only shot maybe once or twice, but I don't even think he fully committed to the takedown. I think it was more just kind of to threaten the takedown to keep him, on his toes, to aid in his striking. But when you have the talent and you're a physical specimen like Yoel Romero obviously is. I mean, look no further than the backflip and the splits at the press conference with Stylebender. But it's very frustrating when you don't see him use it as you believe he should. Obviously he doesn't have the same style of grappling as a Khabib does. But when you see what Khabib's grappling had effect on Conor in the stand-up, I mean, it changes a lot of the fight. It changes everywhere. I mean, people just think that having a strong ground game will affect how the fight goes on the ground, but it also has a big effect on how the fight is on the feet as well, because you're constantly looking to defend the takedown, which is fucks with your head and your game plan a bit for sure. Going into this Stylebender fight, I'm a big Stylebender fan as well, but I'm not sure what Yoel I'm gonna get, because as a fan, now speaking for me, I think you're gonna get a heavy wrestling Yoel in this next fight coming up, because I think Yoel knows, and if he doesn't, he should know, this is his last title shot chance. This is it. What is he, 43 years old? This is it for him. This is it. This is his last chance, at least at the 185-pound division, that's for sure. He struggles making weight before. He has struggled in the past. He says that won't be an issue, but we'll see. This is his last shot. I think you're going to get a heavy wrestling Yoel. And I think we're going to, for the first time, see where he stands in terms of MMA wrestling, because it's not necessarily the same. MMA grappling is not the same as Olympic wrestling. It's not. There's subtle differences, obviously. I mean, I'm not a high-level fighter by any means, but I can see with the naked eye as a fan that there are obvious differences. Now, if I'm Stylebender and Yoel doesn't shoot on me, I'm going to piece him apart. I'm going to piece him apart and I'm going to finish him, because he has the best striking in the division. And he has knockout power. People are always saying this, like he brings it up himself. He's skinny, he doesn't have the knockout power. But look no further than Robert Whittaker, what he did to him. He essentially knocked him out twice. If it wasn't for the end of the round, he would have finished him the first time. If you're a Yoel fan, you want him to come out with the wrestling, because you know that he's not going to beat him striking unless you got the Deontay Wilder game plan coming in, which is you got to be perfect 100% of the time. I got to be perfect for 1 second, because I'm going to knock you out with the one punch. Yoel has the knockout power, but when you're dealing with such a high-level striker like Stylebender, he'll finish you. He'll finish you like he does in Derek Brunson, Robert Whittaker. These are all high-level fighters. High-level fighters. So, my early prediction, I'm going to say it right now, Stylebender wins by knockout, round 2, if Yoel doesn't shoot. Often. I'm not talking once or twice. I'm talking often. But if Yoel does shoot often, I still think Stylebender wins, but I think it goes to a decision, because I think it'll fuck with the game plan later on. Look, in the later rounds, Stylebender might be less aggressive on the feet because he's trying to avoid the takedown. I have Stylebender either way this fight goes, decision or knockout. Knockout if Yoel doesn't come out with heavy wrestling.